Like in elementary, I was bullied a lot. One day, this girl, good color Jenny. Jenny was having a birthday party. So obviously I wasn't invited. So I basically begged for an invitation. And I remember Jenny was like, okay, if you're like my servant for like a week, like I'll give you an invitation. Long story short, I was a servant for a week and she gave me an invitation to her party. This is the best part. It's the best part.
Okay, what's the best part?
So finally, party day came. My mom was driving me to the party. We were going to the address that the girl gave me. So we finally get to the house. The house was looking dead. Like it didn't have balloons, nothing. So I was like, maybe they're just not done decorating. So I go and knock the door. And you know who answers the door? You're never gonna guess who. My fucking teacher. It was my teacher's house. Jenny gave me the address of my teacher, not her fucking birthday party. I just want to... My boyfriend is really into cars. Recently discovered a charity project where they fixed up an old Jaguar and it's worth around $300,000. You could buy a $50 raffle ticket to win the car and the money went towards a good cause. My boyfriend is broke at the moment, so I offered to go halves with the ticket. He didn't want to because then the car wouldn't be his completely. I wasn't too worried about it and didn't mention it again. I did, however, buy a ticket for myself. Well, I won, and on the 1st of next month, I will be the owner of the car. My boyfriend found out. He was really excited until I told him I was going to sell the car and put half of the money in my savings and invest the other half.
You should.
He said I can't sell our car without consulting him. I told him it's my car and I can do whatever I want. He now claims it was all a big misunderstanding and apparently wanted to go halves, but hasn't got around to giving me the money yet. I call BS on it, but he keeps saying that we're a couple and we should make this decision together. I still am planning on going ahead and selling the car and keeping the money to myself. I do see a future with him, but it was my money and my ticket. Am I the asshole for not wanting to go 50-50 and keeping the money all towards myself? Today's my niece's birthday and she just went to college, so I thought I'd get her a laptop for her birthday. Now, I'm a student myself, but I still want to give her something special, so I searched for a great used laptop and I found a decent Toshiba. I sold my PSP and some other things so I can afford it. So there we were at the dinner table opening presents, and she opened mine and had this grim look on her face. This is it? I thought you'd buy me a brand new one. No, I can't afford it. It's the best I can do. Well, I want a brand new one, not this. This sucks. Worst present ever. She then shoved the laptop and box across the table and it fell on the floor. I picked it up and walked out, and my cousin tried to stop me, but I just said I would never give her anything ever again.
As you shouldn't.
She even had the nerve to call back and ask for the laptop. What is the most ungrateful thing you've seen? My fiance and I are getting married in a few months, and our wedding is on a Saturday. It's 3 days after his niece's 6th birthday. He has 2 nieces while I have 1. When we booked the date, we were aware that it was close to her birthday, but we figured because it was not on her actual date, it would be fine. His sister has recently asked if we could make our wedding a little bit more special for her daughter. She asked if she could pick out the dresses, for her to wear a tiara while the other 2 have simple headbands, and invite 1 school friend, and 30 minutes to an hour of her music playing. She also wanted people to sing happy birthday to her. We said no to this. We want the flower girl dresses to all look the same and to go with the color scheme. Plus, we know that if the other girls see her wear a tiara, then they will also want one. We don't want some kid at our wedding who is not with their own parents. As for the music, it would be annoying, but all guests are welcome to request songs to the DJ. And I told her we can sing happy birthday after we cut our cake and we can bring her out a little cupcake. My sister-in-law is unhappy about this because our wedding means her daughter will not get a birthday party that year. And she thinks waiting until the weekend after is too long and it will upset her daughter. My partner is starting to cave, but I don't want to budge. He feels bad in the situation, but I don't. Am I wrong for not having a birthday party at my wedding? Story time about the boy who pretended to like me to get closer to my best friend. A little background information. It was the summer before my freshman year of high school. And my best friend and I got bored of hanging out with the same people, so we got a membership to a new pool. And this one was closer to one of our rival schools, so a lot of people that we didn't know went there. Well, the one day while we're there, we meet this group of boys. And by the way, my friend is super pretty. Like, all the guys immediately gravitate towards her, and I'm kind of like the duff. AKA designated ugly fat friend. Anyways, while she's over there talking to all the boys, I'm sitting down at one of the tables. And one of the boys from the group comes over to me and starts talking to me. And he was being super sweet. And then he's like, oh, I don't know why all of them are over there talking to her. Like, she's not even that pretty. He was like, to be honest, you're way better looking than her. Now listen, I know I might seem like a bad friend for this, but I never had that male validation before. So that kind of made me feel good. Well, fast forward, his best friend and my best friend start dating, like for part 2. A few years ago, I lived in an apartment complex. I lived there for 2 years when this girl and her family moved into the apartment complex next to me. She could see my apartment and I could see hers. We'll call her Freckles. I had a lot of friends in the apartments, and I was with this one guy that I'd be on and off with all the time. We'll call him X. Well, me and the group would always be outside hanging out, and she would always be out there too, so eventually she ended up hanging out with us, and we all somewhat got along with her, so I was cool with it. Well, fast forward a few months later, and she ends up having to move back to her home state. I was sad because she was really cool and literally the only other female
in the group. 2 days before she's supposed to leave, someone's knocking on my door. I answer, and it's some people from the group, and they tell me they need to tell me something. Then they tell me Freckles slept with X. I asked them how they know, and they said that she told them. So I went inside, and I was planning to confront both him and her. When I confronted X, he denied it all, but I didn't really believe him because he was always doing me dirty. So it's Freckles' last night in the apartments, and I wanted to confront her sooner, but she wasn't around. So her last night, she comes knocking on my door around 10 p.m. And when I answer, I tell her that I need to talk to her.
Period.
So as soon as I said I need to talk to her, I could tell that she got really nervous. So then I just tell her, I'm gonna ask you something and I don't want you lying to me. Did you sleep with X? She responds with, no, Stephanie, I would never do that to you. You're my friend. So I ask her again, are you lying to me? And she said, I promise I'm not. You're my friend. I wouldn't do that. So I had both of them telling me, no, it didn't happen. So I was just like, okay, maybe it didn't happen and my friends were just lying. So after that, we say our goodbyes and I thought the situation was over. But then the next day after she's long gone, she messages me. So she messages me around 11 p.m. and the conversation was going normal, like it was just a regular conversation. But then she starts telling me she's sorry. And I was like, what are you sorry about? And she was like, I lied to you. I slept with X. She then continues to tell me that my friends were telling me the truth and asked me not to hate her. So I asked her why she didn't tell me the truth to my face when I asked her, and she said, I didn't want you to hate me. And I remember telling her, you have the guts to sleep with him behind my back, but not the guts to tell me to my face.
Okay.
So she just kept telling me, I'm sorry, please don't hate me. And I just stopped responding. Yes, she slept with him, but I was more mad at the fact that she lied to my face and waited until after she left the state to tell me that it was true. So I ended up confronting X again, but he just kept denying it. So I had 3 people telling me it happened and 1 person telling me it didn't. I didn't know who to believe because the people who told me X and Freckles, they were all liars. So I didn't know who to believe. Fast forward 2 years later, she somehow manages to get my Snapchat and she messages me telling me she's sorry again. And it had already been 2 years. I had found someone new. I was really happy in my new relationship. So I just told her that I'm over it. And she seemed kind of disappointed that I wasn't like, oh, screw you, Freckles, you did me dirty, I hate you. So I thought that was kind of weird. And that was one of the last times I talked to her. I'm just happy I found someone new who doesn't put me in those situations because that guy put me through a lot. But I never found out if the story was true or not. So I still wonder to this day who was lying to me.
This client is a housekeeper, and because she works with her hands for a living and is constantly working with various cleaning chemicals, she says her gel starts chipping within a week. She peels the remaining gel off due to stress and anxiety because she works for a busy hotel chain trying to provide for her 2 little boys at home. She said she works 10-hour shifts and having to redo her nails every week is just not something that she could afford or keep up with. Her friend actually recommended me, hoping I'd be able to help, which was very sweet. I'm doing a structured gel manicure with a rubber base, which should last her up to a month. Because she needs to keep her nails short for work, she usually just gets a basic color because she thinks beautiful designs only look good on long nails. But I'm hoping I changed her mind with these pink cat eye swirls. She left with a big smile and I could just tell how happy they made her.